So in case you're wondering, what exactly is a vocal brand? Your vocal brand is how you sound and how you interact with other people. This is the vibe people get when they are with you. What do they pick up? Warmth, sincerity, and maybe during moments, passion, conviction. So that's your brand. And I want you to ponder this point. You know how we as humans jump to conclusions or at least make an assumption when we see somebody for the very first time? Now, think about first impressions, a very important aspect of our daily life. So, people have made an assumption just on seeing you, how you're dressed, how you look, and then you open your mouth and you speak. That's the moment they either confirm their assumption or negate their assumption. That's how powerful your vocal brand is. So think about this for a moment before I enter into what exactly is your voice, right? Most of the time, we don't even think about it. That's our voice. That's how we speak. It's from early childhood. You probably sound like your parents, your siblings. But then let's talk about inflection, vocal variety. You know, the pitch, the volume, the rhythm, the tone of voice. All this gives you that special vocal character. You know, Maya Angelou said this. It's a very, very popular quote, and I apologize if you've heard it 100 times before. People forget what you said, people forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And this is what I talk about, leaving an enduring impact. And you do that with your voice. Let's consider a few things about your voice, right? If you talk too fast, people think, oh, she must be nervous or anxious. If I speak so slowly, others are thinking, if she's not engaged with what she's saying, why should I be engaged with what she's saying? If I speak too softly, you may think, wow, she's nervous, she's not confident. If I speak too loud, you're going to think, boy, is that an overbearing, intense person. And if you speak in a flat pitch, remember that boring professor in college? No variation, so boring. And then if you vary your pitch way too much and sound like you're reading a child's book, a very sing-songy type of vocal brand, people are not going to take you seriously. So that's the kind of impact we all can have with our voice. But let me tell you, if you're thinking, wait, how do I change all that? You can change it with practice, absolutely. But there's one thing you can change about your voice almost immediately. Do you want to know what that is? That's your tone of voice. And I tell you, it's all about feeling your words. And I kind of discovered that quite accidentally because I was so obsessed with my accent and how I sounded. I kept studying this field. And that's when I realized when I'm speaking with friends, I was engaged, I had passion, it was up and down, there was variety. But then when I was reading a book and I should record myself because I was trying to improve myself, and I would see my voice was flat. I wasn't feeling the words of another author, they were not my words. That's when I said, oh, tone comes from feeling. So if you feel your words, you're going to master communication. And this is exactly what Maya Angelou says. You will know if you, with the right mindset, when you are speaking with somebody who's in need of your help, a little empathy will get you that connection, that sincerity in your voice. Now, again, it's situational. There are times where you are the boss of a team and you feel your team is taking liberties with you. You have the capacity to shift the tone to sound more authoritative. But it takes intentionality, a daily dose of intentionality to get there. Now let's talk about, so these are the things you could fix with practice and daily dose of intentionality. Let's talk about something else that helps your vocal brand. Number 2 is master your mindset. Almost every skill set, you will hear that being mentioned. Your mindset is so important to almost everything you want to nurture and develop. So here comes, why does mastering your mindset help? So remember I said your tone expresses your feeling? It does. If you're feeling anxious within you in a job interview, your voice is going to project nervousness. If you feel jealous at a particular moment and then you speak, envy is going to leak out of you. If you're angry at somebody and you speak with that anger inside you, your voice is going to come across angry. And maybe that's not what you want in a relationship, at work, possibly. Let's think about that for a moment. So I have an interesting metaphor that I borrowed from Dr. Wayne Dyer, one of my favorite self-help gurus. He had this amazing metaphor to explain what's inside you will always come out. And he used an orange. In a high pressure situation, when you squeeze an orange, you're going to get orange juice. If you squeeze it harder, you're not going to get apple juice. It'll still be orange juice. So when you extend the metaphor to what's inside you leaks out of you when you speak, that's going to make you remember, if I don't want to damage relationships with people, I better make sure my core is good. Set the intentionality. How do you want to show up in a conversation? So this is where it can be situational, but it takes you to know what is your objective in that conversation. So think of that orange every time to make sure you're feeling good inside before you go into a high stakes conversation. Number 3, this one is to address all your weak links, right? It could be a heavy accent that makes it difficult for people to understand you. And what is effective communication? It's all about people understanding, and you get to a shared understanding with the person who's listening to you. So just like I did, I kept refining and refining. I didn't change who I was, but I worked on words that tripped me up. There are still words that trip me up, but as a public speaker, I have to thank my American audiences for embracing who I am, warts and all. That's the leap I made, right? Or what if it's an articulation problem? And all I have to tell you, there are videos out there on YouTube for you to study and work on it. At this point, if you're thinking, well, I don't think I have any real issues with my voice, how do I make my vocal brand unique? This is what I would suggest. If you have a funny laughter, a unique laughter, maybe that's what sets you apart. Maybe it's a catchphrase you use. That could set you apart. So I would say use all that to stand out. So as I conclude the speech today, I want you to think of one thing. This voice, this instrument needs to be nurtured. So for you to have that strong vocal brand, a practice of deep breathing helps. Breathing through your nose, deep breathing, belly breaths. And I'll tell you why. When we speak when the air is coming out, you don't want to run out of air with shallow breaths. So deep breathing keeps you going and you don't start coughing in the mid-sentence, right? You sound more eloquent. The other thing, to get the full range of your voice, sing in the shower. That's when you realize if you keep singing in the shower, you're going to realize you have a wider range than you ever thought. And this is how you strengthen your voice. So this is my wish for you, to use your voice and build that amazing vocal brand of yours. If you have a unique value proposition, take that with your unique value brand and leave a mark in this world, a lasting mark. Thank you.